Sorry, what? Hello, silent solidarity? What? Do you need like a towel or something? Something for your back? Or is there a problem? Oh yeah, you haven't noticed. You may want to check a mirror. Hello. That's one way to make an entrance. Hello, Glenn. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. I just got back with my water, and then I read Silence first message, and I was just like, "What?" I was shocked. Just absolutely shocked. But it did get a giggle out of me. Why would I need a towel? It's not raining. You use a towel for after it's raining, surely. I don't mean to alarm you, but you do have 23 stab wounds and one knife in your back. Though, the amount of stab wounds to knife in the back is a pretty good consistency. Like, it's not like 23 knives. At least. That's something. You can't just have that happen and then play it off like it's not important. No. Let me just check my canvas properties. Yep. This one is in color. Yes. Nice. Because that's a mistake I keep making. So I set my canvas to monochrome. And that's not what I want. Oh. Looked over, saw a dip in my frame rate. Just gonna stare at those little bars. Just mentally will them to go up. Oh! That actually startled me. I need to turn that down. Because it just scares me for no reason other than it's loud and a noise. And y'all are usually very quiet and polite. So it's not you. It's not any of you. Just left the Curia of Pompeii. Or Pompeii, why would the Senate member stab me? Oh, wait. You. Why is that? Why would they stab me? They're my friend, right? They're your mates. You never know, you should check. Is your back feeling itchy at all? Tell you what, my back feels itchy all the time. I might have stab wounds. Let me check. Oh yeah, would you look at that? I got some stains on my white shirt. That's not good. You know what, I was concerned, but look at how easy it is to just not notice a bunch of stab wounds on your back. And they got kidnapped by pirates and told them to raise the ransom. Oh, okay, I had a suspicion. So you are Julius Caesar. You know what? I love your salads. That feels like an overdone joke. Oh, ow. I feel like with Julius Caesar, at a certain point you'd be like, and done, right? I don't know if you needed to stab him quite so many times, historically speaking. Or am I wrong? Hey! How you doing, I Winter? I Winter Netty. Nettle. Look like an eye from over here. How are you? Currently just discussing Solidarity's stab wounds. You see 23 people stabbed him once. Oh, right. Well, then that's fine. In that case, that makes it okay then. I did have questions, but now I'm like, okay. That kind of balances out, I guess. Probably gonna fiddle around with these layers a bit, but otherwise pretty good. Just like in the Orient Express. Yeah. That actually makes more sense to me now that you've said it that way. It's not that he did get stabbed 23 times, but it was 23 people who stabbed him once. You're just chilling. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's been a good chill day, so it's nice to have them sometimes. It was like 32 degrees, so I just didn't go outside at all. After going to the gym in the morning, I was just like, I'm staying inside. That's it. Gonna stay at my desk and just work away the hours. Had Torrent Talks creativity on my side monitor and just had a really good day. It's very, very chill. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you're having a chill day. You return to normal bitrate. I can't make demands with my bitrate. It'll just turn on me. The reason all 23 members stabbed him once was so the other Senate members wouldn't frame them for murder of the Emperor. Oh, right, okay, because no one would, like... All of them stabbed him, but you can't be sure which one of the stabs killed him. You couldn't really pin it to a person. That makes sense. So no one is innocent. Yeah. They're all definitely accomplices. Or accessories to it, for sure. They were all sus. Yes. They're definitely all sus. At least a few years before Among Us, we had the first sus. I can't even finish that sentence. It's maybe one of the worst things I've ever said. No, they're all innocent since you can't find out which one killed them. Well, it really is like are you a half full or half empty kind of a person? Did they all kill Julius Caesar or did none of them? If there were so many people stabbing him, then surely he just died of natural causes. Right? I don't know. Probably not. Sure, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, that is definitely a way to look at it, for sure. Is it the right way? Absolutely not. This is also ancient Roman, like, criminal law. The OG Among Us, Caesar murdered himself. Yeah, technically he was just wrong place, wrong time. So he is responsible. I didn't expect to open the stream with a real cold case. Not gonna lie. I'm about it though. I like it. I like it. It's not a critique. I'm enjoying it. Tell you what, I do it fairly consistently, but it always feels weird to draw upside down. Like, to draw characters upside down. And sure, I could draw Ratchet the right way up and then flip him. But I don't want to. You know? You know what I mean? I just don't want to. But then again, it's been over 2,000 years, so yeah, what's... Like, if we did solve it here on this stream, what is the true, like, benefit of solving this cold case, right? We can't really be credited to... It's also not a mystery. Like, we know for certain what happened. Like, that's not up for debate. He was definitely stabbed 23 times. Caesar's ghost hands Rome over to you. Rome is nice. I would take Rome. But does he technically own Rome anymore? Especially anymore? Like, that's the question. Did he ever really... He ruled over Rome. But did he ever really own it? The sooner we start wrapping up hot cases, the sooner we won't have cold cases anymore. That's true. We should have been there. We missed a trick there. We weren't there to solve it quickly. Because we would have solved it, like, straight away. But we weren't there. We were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, much like Caesar. He owned it, all nobility are landlords. That makes sense. That does track. It also makes sense why they stabbed him. I mean, I would. I mean, don't quote me on this. I don't want it coming back to me that I revealed on a stream that I would stab Julius Caesar because he was a landlord. I don't need that coming back to me. In your eyes, nobody can really own land except nature itself. Everything else is filthy capitalism. That's fair. I believe that. I agree. Is that anything? Is that one line anything? I don't know. I'm gonna leave it for now. If it ends up being something, sweet. If it doesn't, great. Pleasantly surprised either way. That's how I keep things fresh, is that I just don't commit anything to long-term memory. It's a good day to end the patriarchy, damn right. Every day that it's not ended, it's just another good day to just get on that. Smash that shit. We're done. We're done with it. Hasn't worked. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. One Julius Caesar at a time. I love how this stream has started. It's like so out of pocket. I love it. Not out of pocket, just all over the place, but in the best possible way. Unpredictable. Marry Gaia since I can't own the world, I'll just marry it. Yeah, that's nice. That's very... What's the word I'm looking for there? I don't want to say thrifty, because it's definitely not thrifty. It's very economical of you. It's definitely not the word I'm looking for, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. The hell is this shape? This is one of the problems with coming back to art. Like, coming back to a draft I did ages ago, is that sometimes I just can't recognize what I was doing and maybe start a cycle of a son killing their tyrannical father. Do we want to start that? Do we want to start a cycle of sons sons marrying Gaia, sons, I mean, maybe that, but sons killing their tyrannical fathers? I mean, maybe just put an end to the tyrannical fathers thing. I cannot marry Gaia. I'm not Shane Dawson. This is a layered joke. His cat's name is Gaia. If you get it, you get it. I do get it. I didn't know his cat's name, though. So I've learned something. Oh, that's not deep enough. There we go. Much deeper. Yeah. Oh, your cat is. Oh yeah, your cat's name is Gaia. I read that wrong. It's a good name for a cat. Each time I forget about Shane Dawson, someone brings him up again. Yeah, ain't that always the way, innit? What can we do, you know? Is that correct? Yeah, there we go. Your cats are named Gaia and Carmilla because I'm gay and love nature. Nice. Very respectable. Those are great names. Like, really great names. My brain read Carmilla and I went, oh, you like Castlevania. My brain just doing the brain thing. No, those are great cat names. Also, Gaia is currently doing a pretty good job on murdering a feather toy. Ayy. Hardworking. I like it. Dedicated to the cause of being a cat. Zoom out. Does that look alright? Not really. Not really, but sort of. I think the line is just a bit too thick. The claws never rest. Yes. It is a tough job being a cat. Being a precious little bean. Carmilla, as in 1872 Gothic novella. That's a much more refined reference, that's for sure. My brain fully knowing that novella as well, but then just going, Castlevania. Because that is inspired by the novella. Yes, but mostly the web series adaptation. Yeah. Nice. Okay, let me get this line work right. That's... okay, that's pretty good. Castlevania is also poggers. Ayy. Vindication, sort of. it's pretty good. I used to be very angry about the final 2 seasons, but now I feel I've come around to them. And I'm kind of more okay with them. I was angry at them before, but less so now. I've grown and changed. I'm a better person. I accidentally have a refined sense of references. That's great. It's an excellent thing to have. It's an excellent problem to have. I have a long-standing, like, history and education in refined, like, traditional art and things like that, but I've, like, subdued my brain so heavily with cartoons and comics that now I immediately think of the comics and pop culture before I think of the origins. I've only watched the first 2 seasons. Those are the best. Like, they're fantastic. First 2 seasons are incredible. Or maybe you're just ancient. Maybe. Maybe you're just one of those ancient beings that just exists and persists for eons, which would be pretty cool. And I have some of the games to catch up on. Like, your games pile of shame is gigantic. That's fair. Like, that's... I feel like we've all got kind of that problem. Games are cool and a lot of fun. And then you've got the games that you know you enjoy, so you just keep going back to them. Got your comfort games and stuff like that. You're currently watching Buffy? Ooh, that's cool. I've never seen Buffy, but I know it's good. So, yeah. Very cool. One day I'll actually watch Buffy. I've got a lot of TV shows to catch up on, because I want to watch Buffy, but I also want to watch Twin Peaks, and my brother had it when he was staying with me, and I didn't end up watching it because I was busy doing work and stuff. But I'd love to actually watch it. The Vampire Slayer. Yeah. That works, yeah. That's cool. Oh, that's such a weird, like, perspective to draw. The fingers bent backwards. That's weird. Haven't seen the new season yet. Twin Peaks is so good. I'm glad to hear that. I watched like the first few episodes with my brother, and I was like, this is something I could definitely get into. It's got just like the coolest atmosphere. But then also I didn't see any of the parts when it starts to get weird. So I've got that to look forward to as someone who has a very unique taste. I feel like I would get into the weirdness. Twin Peaks does some serious propaganda. Agent Cooper is fine. Nice. Oh, or fire. Nice. You've never heard of Twin Peaks? Ooh, well, it is an older TV show. It's like a murder mystery, but it gets weird because it's directed by David Lynch. Correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn. But he's very well known for being or directing very eclectic and unique, to say the least, like content or movies and TV shows. Should have said media, not content. It's not really content. It is, but it's not. I see a badass looking lady with an eye patch and it's on the watch list now. Nice. It's by David Lynch, so you'll get puzzled. Yeah. It's very like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like symbolic weird. So a lot of the uniqueness of it is symbolic of, emotions and deeper meanings within the show. And it takes it because it was from an era where you needed to do a little bit more reading into a story to kind of understand it. Which I really like. Because it treats the audience like they're, intelligent individuals who are there to solve a mystery. Which is kind of what you're there for. But then also there to feel and stuff like that. His ear's a little thin on this side. So I might make it a bit wider. It's from back when they actually put thought into the show? Yeah. And also shows weren't quite so expensive to make. Because they didn't have CGI, so you had to kind of make the best of stuff. Make the best of what you had. And so they do a lot of stuff practically, and it's very cool. I like when they leave some things open to interpretation. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big things too, isn't it? Not everything needs to have a controlled ending. Yeah, and that is a really good thing about Twin Peaks is that it leaves a lot of stuff open for you to figure out or interpret in your own way, which is great because like that sometimes really enhances a story. You know that you have your own interpretation to it, and as far as most people know, you could be correct. Shows still don't have to be expensive. Yeah, that's also true, but then there's also a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? There is a bit of a entry fee to films now where if you're not spending at least this much on them, films and TV shows, I mean, then you're not going to get nearly the kind of traction that you need. And like as you say, they don't have to be expensive. You know, these Marvel films that are coming out now, they're very expensive and they're garbage. So there is a certain layer to it that is it's more about quality, but we kind of fell into a rut for a little while where it wasn't about quality. It's about the big epicness of it all. And it had to have these high stakes. One of the cool things about Stranger Things when it came out was that it was so low stakes. It was just a single town. It was a small town, completely unconnected to the wider world. And what has kind of started to cripple the show is that now it's becoming higher and higher stakes and had to keep escalating beyond the point of loss of interest. I'd love to have more shows which have seasons ending that doesn't promises a next season, because most of the time they always get cancelled, especially queer shows. Yeah, that is super disappointing. I know exactly what you mean, is that shows are no longer slated for their full run because now they never have a full, like their production brief never includes the final season anymore. They only include like the foundational seasons or whatever the creators have written at the time, and that's it. And as a result, if they get cancelled, they can end on complete cliffhangers or you know, points where there is no closure, and that can be deeply disappointing. You know, you could even end on a bridging season and then it ruins it forever because you have nothing to, like, all those stakes lead to nothing. And yeah, as you said, especially with queer shows, we don't have, you know, that lack of representation as a first thing, but then on top of that, there's so rarely closure that feels rewarding. And then as a result, if they're constantly being cancelled, it tells producers that these are the kinds of things that people don't want, which is completely untrue. We want those shows, but if they're constantly being cancelled before they can actually have, you know, their time in the spotlight, then we never get to see what the build-up was for, which is, yeah, deeply disparaging. What do I have left to draw? A little wedge. A little wedge. We don't give things time to get good anymore either, which is disappointing. You know, stuff can be bad. I always believe that stuff could be like shows and movies in their first instance can be bad. At first, that's fine. And that if they need time to get good, then giving them time to get good is important. The Willow series ended with a promise for 2 more seasons, and then Disney Plus took it down and cancelled it. Like how they are expecting for people to watch the show based on an ancient movie if they don't advertise it. Like, what the hell? Yes, I heard about that. I don't have Disney Plus, but I really wanted to see Willow, and the fact that it's not getting the seasons that it needed to actually build that story. Same with what's it called? The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, which was a show that I really enjoyed, and just the sheer amount of effort that went into making a show, by the Jim Henson company, where basically it's all puppets and muppets and things like that, and there's so much effort that goes into just making a single episode, and the fact that it got cancelled after 1 season, so it could only build up these very minimal things, and then you actually never get that catharsis or that closure with that story unless you watch the original, which is hundreds of years after the events of the Age of Resistance, which is, that sucks. The Willow series was good, in your opinion? I felt like watching a D&D party on their adventures. That's cool. Yeah, and that sounds right up my alley. The fact that it never got its full run. And especially since it was, like you said, it was promised 2 more seasons. So you knew that there were 2 more seasons that had been prepared and were ready. As opposed to other shows. I'm going to go back to my example of Stranger Things. Stranger Things had 1 season written, and then every single season afterwards has been a slow depreciation in value because those weren't planned. In a broader sense, they weren't planned. Like season 1 was, at least. They had no intention of having this wider narrative. It was going to be the Demogorgon and 11, and that was it. And then, because it did so well, they had more and more seasons, and they had to keep escalating and escalating until you've gotten to a point where it has escalated so much that this little problem, this little supernatural issue that was in just this one small town now affects the world, and nobody cares anymore because so much of it is recycled from the previous season. You can actually track the writing of it, which is so disappointing in that, because they reuse the trend. They give you a new character to become attached to, and then they kill that character off to essentially emotionally blackmail you. It's just not good writing. For multiple seasons, anyway. Season 5 needs to slap with an echo, otherwise it will disappoint. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even convinced I'll watch it, really. Because there's so many missteps in the previous season, because they made it blatantly obvious that they were just reusing the same storyline, just with various alterations. Various minute alterations. Get rid of the soft shadows. But yeah, and then there's, I don't know, I've not watched a lot of TV shows recently purely because of this, like, if I get into them and then they get cancelled, then I'm ruined, I'm just emotionally ruined. I'm actually really scared that Blue Eye Samurai will get cancelled. Because that's an animation, so it takes forever to make. So it could get cancelled because it's not being made fast enough, and I'm terrified. Season 1 and 3 were your favorites? Season 1 and 3 were good. Yeah, I enjoyed season 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3. And I went back and rewatched season 1, and I realized how much it dragged. Not in a bad way, but it was much more slowly paced than the later seasons are. Like, it was a slow burn, and it's good. When you know the trend, like what's gonna happen and stuff, it maybe feels a bit strange, but otherwise, the pacing is really good, and it like made me realize how choppy the pacing is in the later seasons, because they just want to get to the big scenes, so it kind of rushes, which is very weird, at least to me. You lost attachment to the characters that are written like that. Yeah. Hey, Sneeboo. Haven't gotten into a TV show in a while. Yeah, same. Hate it when that happens. Yeah, absolutely. Recently finished Killing Eve and it left you devastating. Ooh, I have heard it does that. Yeah. Yeah. I have heard it do be like that. Can say that I never liked curly-haired main nerd that ended up dating Eleven. Yeah, he was Mike. He was a bit annoying. He was always kind of annoying, so I can definitely respect that. He always came across as quite abrasive as a character, but not in a endearing way. In a this kid's annoying as fuck kind of way. Yep, definitely got the wrong layer. I haven't recovered from the Magician's Devastation yet. I have not heard of the Magician's Devastation. What is that? But this is also coming from me, who hasn't watched many TV shows in a while. I think the most recent TV show I've watched was Blue-Eyed Samurai, and that came out last year. The Magicians is a TV series based on the books by Lev Grossman. Ah, okay. I've not read those books, but I can assume they were very good. Were/are very good. Oh, my legs. Sweaty. I'm just all sweaty. Sick of this. I'm sick of summer. It's like an adult-themed Harry Potter. Ah, cool. I like The Magicians until the season where the magic got turned off. Oh, yeah, that sounds... It's in the... Like, it's very much the title, The Magicians. Hey, for this season, I thought we'd can the magic, as it were. That seems like not the right thing to do. You got a Crunchyroll membership just to watch gay lawyers. I mean, fair enough. I got a Crunchyroll subscription for less, you know. You actually had like an anime to go to. Whereas me, I was like, I'm being told I need to watch anime. I'm just gonna watch anime. But I don't know what to watch. So you went in with a plan, which is way better than what I did. It's actually an insane storyline, I bet. I mean, but that's cool as well. Like, the shows that have really wild stories, to me at least, are the most kind of exciting to watch. Because they have so much they have so much room to kind of do whatever they like. Then you started JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but didn't see men in crop tops immediately, so I stopped. This isn't... yeah. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures isn't gay enough straight out of the bat. I'm done. I love that, actually. I still need to watch JoJo's. I've heard so many good things about it, so, like, I can't avoid it. Let's go... Root of the tree. Can I just throw a hot take out there? I hate time travel. I love... that's a great hot take, first of all. I really like what you have to say there. But I love the idea that you're just a time traveler who's just like, hey, can I just say, time travel fucking sucks. Everyone I love just dies. As in, like, uh, the trope of time travel, or the like, almost theme of time travel. Just as a further question, Glenn, need to watch This Is Us, but it's such a chore. Then you would hate The Magicians. I like season 1 and season 2 of JoJo's, but you don't like the intro of Stans. That's fair, but that's also the thing with a lot of animes. It's very hard to get into their power systems if they're explained in a way that's a bit like shit. I think, like, I've not watched JoJo's, but I think a criticism I've heard is that, you know, the explanation of the power system is bad or not as good as it could be. Too bad you're time traveling right now. Yeah, I mean, that's true, yeah. We're always time traveling, so you got no choice. But I get that. I think time travel in movies and shows, I think if it's done with a great deal of preparation and care, can be great. I adore Back to the Future for that very reason. But I do get what you mean, because it can be used kind of as a cop out in a lot of stuff. So I can, yeah, I respect that. I respect that opinion for sure. I don't think it's a hot take, not here. Give my Harmon to vampires, I'll be fine. And Speedwagon to best waifu. I don't know what that means, but it sounded funny. It sounded really funny. I guess we know who Silent Solidarity romanced in Baldur's Gate. Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see it. Time travel gives the opportunity to fix past mistakes, but it erases too much. It just shits on everything that has happened. Yeah, it makes everything that did happen superfluous. I totally get what you mean, and I fully agree. Time travel is such a cop out for story writing. It is almost what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost a plot hole in a lot of shows and media. Jokes on you, I haven't played the game, so and know next to nothing about the characters. Yeah, we could tell based on your kind of style and personality. It's definitely it's definitely going to be Halson. You enjoyed Umbrella Academy season 1 and 2, but 3, oh my god, I couldn't. 100%. I agree with you 100%, Glenn. I loved season 1 of Umbrella Academy. Season 2 I enjoyed but was worried. Season 3 was unwatchable. Like completely unwatchable for me. It was like egregiously bad. Oh my god. You might actually like the magicians then. They constantly say how time travel makes shit worse. Oh Halson. Oh Halson. Big man. He's a big man in nature. Oof. If I find it somewhere, I might give it a try. Yeah. Whew, what a man. What a man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I started playing Baldur's Gate, I was like, I don't see the appeal of Halson. I've seen a lot of people thirsting over him. Good for them. I don't see it. Started my character Honkers. She's like 5'6" or 5'5". She's not the tallest of characters. She's definitely shorter than a lot of the characters in Baldur's Gate. And I was like, I mean, I'm bi, but I lean towards women and things like that. So I was like, I'm not gonna. I know what characters I will be attracted to. I'm certain of that. I go into the game, and Halson's like, "Hello, friend," and I'm just like, "Oh, I like how he laughs when you ask how he's such a big elf. Yeah, well, he's just a big, strong man. Yeah. Makes a critical mistake to the plot. Better time travel to ancient Egypt to learn why I can't fix past mistakes with time travel. That's great. I mean, if it's used as a joke, fantastic. If it's used as a plot device, fuck you. How are you gonna take a bear? I'm not. I don't want the bear. I just want the bear. You guys know what I'm saying? He's just so strong. I know he could treat me right. That's the thing. If I saw him in just like a nice light sweater, I'd be like, that's a man who knows how to take care of someone he loves. I don't know why I got choked up. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I got like a notch, like a notch in my throat as I was talking about it. Tell the mouse and the bear, warning, not safe for work. Such a dad. Well, now you've ruined it for me. But what if the plot device is a joke? If the plot device is a joke, then I can't take it seriously. That's the only problem. If the plot device is a joke, then I struggle to take it seriously, and then as a result, am I going to really enjoy the show? The mouse got all flustered. I did. I'm constantly getting flustered. He's in my camp now, and I'm just like, hi. I just walk up to him every so often. I'm just like, how are you? And he's just like, hello, friend. And I'm just like, whoa, I needed that. Then I go off an adventure. Halcyon being a bear is not a joke. No, no, it's symbolic characterization at its finest. Oh, I'm in line work. How long have I been in line work? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me check. How many colors are in the line work? Nothing. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I was worried for a second. He just constantly refers to being a bear. Yeah, I mean, he knows. He's self-aware. He's great. We love Halcyon here in this community. We love many, if not all, of the characters in Baldur's Gate here. Talked about this on Tauren's stream, but I'm currently romancing Shadowheart, and I'm like, yeah, nice. And it annoys Tauren every time I talk about it because Shadowheart is the worst. It's the worst kind of partner to have. Just for your emotional well-being, just not good. Oh, Shart, yeah. Good old Shart. But when she says that she gets butterflies in her stomach, I'm like, yeah. Yes. That's a me. That's for me. There's two colors in the line work, white and black. I mean, yes. Thank you, Silent. Those are fine. Those are allowed to be there. If there's a purple in there, then we've got problems. My ranger is currently in a seemingly abusive relationship with Lae'zel. Yeah, I had a bit of a tryst with Lae'zel, and I totally know where you're coming from. Yeah, it's weird. It's tough, you know, it's tough. But she's pretty hot too, so what can I do? What can I do? Other than, yeah, just grin and bear it. Grit my teeth and deal with it. Those aren't colors, those are shades. He's too stupid to know any better. Whoa! Whoa! I mean, yes, I wasn't going to correct Silent, but that's okay. Someone's got to keep an eye out on stuff. And it's not always going to be me, because I miss shit. I miss hints that Halsin... Oh, wait, no, not Halsin. Astarion is giving me. Because I'm too busy. Too busy with Halsin. Trying to pick up what he's putting down. And he won't give me anything. I feel like I'm friend-zoned by Halsin. It makes me sad. He's too stupid to know any better. His int is super low. I meant my ranger, he's too stupid. Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were talking about silent. I'm like, whoa, that was out of pocket. No, you're ranger, that's cool. That's fair enough. You don't need intelligence if you're good at other things. Which is what's so great about the game as well. You can be whatever. You can be super stupid and the game doesn't soft lock you out. Yeah, Astarion's hints are literally, I want sex. You can't romance him until after you deal with Act 2. Okay, well, I'm on my way to Act 2, so we're almost there. Your ranger is like Grog. Ah, nice. That is a good reference point for a good, stupid character. Okay, I think we can move on to shadows. Shadowheart. Yeah, Grog is a fantastic, stupid character. So definitely a good reference. Ooh, what'd I do? Astarion is literally, I would like to fuck you. And I'm just like, okay. Fair enough. You were so upfront about it. How could I say no? Once he deals with the shadow curse being cleared, he says something like, I want someone now. Now I can focus on love. And I'm like, it's my time to shine, baby. Out of my way, Shadowheart. We're done. Just break her heart. Because Halsin is free. Halsin is single. I don't intelligence when I have barrels. I don't need... That's true. That's true. If you can just carry a ton of barrels, you don't need charisma or intelligence or wisdom. Nah. Gone. Don't need them. Secondary skills. Barrel and strength. That's it. And maybe constitution. Bye, shot. See ya, baby. I found better. I'm getting an upgrade, baby. Then she just has to kind of deal with the fact that she has confessed her feelings to me, but I'm just like, nah. I got Halsin. That's all I need. Because also, isn't Halsin... From what from clips and stuff I've seen, Halsin is like super open to you just doing whatever as well. Because I've seen, I don't mind spoilers, but I've seen, you can bang Mizora at one point, and then there are reactions to it, so your party has reactions to you having a tryst with Mizora at one point, and Halsin's like, well, I'm totally okay with you exploring whatever, but let me know next time. And I'm just like, what the... Halsin is poly, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I meant. Or that's what I thought, I guess. Cool. Rad. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to be playing it through. This is my first playthrough ever, so I'm going to be playing through it multiple times. I'm sure I'll... I don't want to say try out, but I'm sure I'll get to see a lot of relationships within the party. And stuff like that. Let me know so I can join. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he would have been like, well, I'm disappointed that you didn't tell me because I would have loved to have been involved. Arendeth has the vampire and the bear. Interesting. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because they're both, like, pretty chill about that whole sort of thing. I mean, Astarion and Halsin. Like, because it doesn't surprise me that Astarion would be completely open to relationships like that. Astarion and Shadowheart are open to other players pursuing a relationship with Halsin, while Karlach gives consent but expresses fear of losing the player, which would break my heart. I wouldn't want to do that to Karlach. So apparently you can still keep shot. Yes. Keep shot in my back pocket. Nice. So to speak. Because I love me a moody goth babe. But she's not been as affectionate towards me as I had hoped, so... You know. I want more of that affection. Gimme. Elves are normally quite open to polyamory in the D&D world. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because they live for such a long period of time that having a single relationship is less normalized. So in a fantasy world, it makes a lot of sense, which is cool. Because if you got, like, beings that live for hundreds of years, yeah, one partner for life is strange, unless they are an elf, or, unless they live as long as you do. And if you live such a long, time, you would want to experience a lot of different things so life doesn't get stale. Not that saying being in a relationship would make your life stale, but 100 years with one person could do that to you. 100, 200 years. From my understanding, they'll raise each other's children, etc. as a community, and there's no shame in having someone's child who isn't your mate. Yeah. Which is also a nice thing that it also has... Like, there is also a consideration towards community and raising kids as a community, which is nice. Halsin's like 400. Yeah, well, he's a druid, so he's ageless. Well, he's a druid, well, an archdruid, so he is, yeah, ageless, which is cool. Because when you reach level 19, level 20 and as a druid, you get ageless body. So you just stop aging after a certain point. Which is it's a cool roleplay thing. It's rarely used in, like, heavily focused, like, combat D&D. But it's still a cool and nice thing to have. Wow, Arendeth is never going to look past 30. Yeah, if they survive the trials and dangers of the world. But yeah, in D&D, once you reach a certain level at Druid, your body just stops aging. Same with monks, for some reason. I think monks have something like that as well. Everyone else, they just age and die at a certain point. But it's like that loyalty towards your druid circle is that the repayment for your loyalty towards it is that you are ageless, so that you can continue to provide for nature. She's already not technically alive. Yeah, that's also pretty classic in D&D, so that's chill. Loads the elven children into the catapult. I don't know why the elves trusted me to watch the kids, but they're getting a one-way trip to the river? What? They don't age. Doesn't mean that they won't drown. What the shit? No, that's cool. Not cool. That's pretty fucked up, but who am I to judge? Yeah. They don't age. It's not that they don't drown. Though there's a new race in D&D called the Reborn, which is essentially a reanimated corpse in some capacity, which does not breathe. So they can be launched into a river and they'd be fine. Why is there no elven children? Well, no, river. Different body containing water, but you got the spirit. That may be the first, like, I actually told an actual joke, guys. It's pretty good, right? I'm an irresponsible uncle aunt. Nobody trust Silent to take care of your kids. Aaron Death could technically get thrown into a lake and not drown. Nice. Yeah. So as I was saying, like there's a new race called the Reborn, which yeah, undead, but then also constructs and Warforged and stuff. They don't breathe or eat, so they can dive into water and not need to breathe, which is great. River air might hurt a bit, yeah, but that doesn't stop you from breathing the water in, or not breathing the water in, I guess. The kids will have. What? Is that... that's okay. It did just take out a bit of the shadow down there, that's fine. The kids will have fun. Oh, okay. Poor thing doesn't get along with running water too well. Well, neither does Astarion. Yeah. Oh wait, is that what you're alluding to? Probably. Oh, maybe. She has a similar condition. Ah. Wait, is she... werewolf? No. Similar to vampire. Oh, she's a Damphia. Damphie. Or Dampier. Which is, in Australia, is a name for a native bread. Not native, an indigenous form of bread. Dampier. Gives half-elf child Timmy hand of Vecna. Go play. That's drastically irresponsible. But unsurprising solidarity. Silent. Does it kill you? No. Oh, well, no. I would say it's probably a fate that's not ideal for a kid. That's for sure. It's a kind of power you really don't want. Like, it makes you, if you use it correctly, untapped power. Potential, you know. The great possibility of unmatched strength, godlike abilities. You don't want that in a kid's hands. That or like the deck of many things. If you know Grog, then you'll know the deck of many things. You do not want to give that to a child. You certainly don't want to give it to someone like Grog. Oh god, it's that deck. That deck was hilarious, but yeah. Should not. They should have, like, of course they knew what they were doing, but holy crap. Playing with fire. And they used Grog pulled a bunch of cards in it in a alternative universe game. And the sheer potential of what could have gone wrong was always there. You shouldn't give Grog many things. Grog was given so many things that he just should not have had. I draw the deck. Yeah, I draw from the deck. Yeah. And it never, well, it went way better than it should have. But yeah, like, he shouldn't have had Craven Edge. They shouldn't have let him keep Craven Edge. I love that he was too stupid for the cursed sword. Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly what I'm saying. They shouldn't have let him hold on to that sword. It was hilarious, but holy crap, was it dangerous. But I also love in, like, interviews after the games and stuff, Travis revealed that he truly did not believe that the sword was going to do anything evil. Like, that he genuinely thought, oh, it's just a chatty sword. Like, he genuinely thought that. So it wasn't, like, I love that he used to say that it wasn't all Grog, you know, that was playing that game. He wasn't, like, playing a character all the time. Sometimes it was just his natural intuition. Yeah. So Travis was like, he's just a chatty little sword. I remember that in an interview. It was so funny. He was explaining that why he didn't, like, make attempts to suppress the sword in any way. Or to tell anyone about the sword. And he was just like, it was just, like, for the longest time, I believed it was just a chatty sword. Who, like, talked a big game, but other than that was just a sword. Which I do think is so funny. Because you don't do that. It's such a big mess to make. Or a big mistake to make when you get a sword that's sentient. Is to just immediately trust it. Chatty swords are not ever a good thing. No. Well, any item, like magic item that talks to you is always something to be very suspicious of. Even, like, the Warlock's patron, which is one thing that I spent ages looking out for because I'm playing a Ancient One Warlock. So a Hexblade Ancient One Warlock in Baldur's Gate. And because of my background knowledge of D&D, I was fully expecting to be contacted by something. And I still am, to a certain degree. I'm fully expecting to receive word from my patron. Because, you know, we have Missoura, who's just, you know, always fucking with Will. And so I'm like, when's mine gonna show up? Because I'm a warlock. I figured out that Will was a warlock immediately upon meeting him, and I confronted him about it immediately. He tried to hide it, but he was like, well... And I'm like, I'm a warlock. I know you're a warlock. I can smell that shit on you. But then, yeah, having played D&D for, my god, over 10 years, I fully expected a response from my own patron at some point. Chatty swords of food, can openers. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I was like, I fully expect this to go bad. I've got an Ancient One patron, so they're probably really smart. You know what food also fits that sentence? Good job, autocorrect. Yeah. You know what sounds really appropriate for what... I know what you were trying to spell, but what if I change it to good? Never trust a devil. Yeah. Unless it's Karlach, but Karlach's not really a devil. Karlach's a sweetheart. definitely don't trust Mizora, who's just, I mean, sure, she's very pretty. She's very, yeah, easy on the eyes, so to speak. But also evil as fuck. Calyx's a tiefling, not a devil. I know. But a lot of the early game, she's referred to as a devil, so I was just referring to that. I know. I've been playing D&D for over 10 years. I know what a tiefling is. There's gotta be tieflings in this comic. No, I know. Don't make me pull out my business card. D&D expert. But also not. Definitely not a D&D expert. You started way back in 3.5. Nice. I remember people, like, before or during the release of 5, I remember a lot of people were very positive or talked very positively about 3.5. It was like the best one before 5, and even then, still 5 has some squiffiness to it. Never trust a devil unless you had your magic contract lawyer draft up on contract for the devil to follow. Yeah. Yeah. He really should have gotten. Will really should have gotten a lawyer to just check that contract before he signed it. Good thing Astarion was a magistrate. True. Could maybe get him out of that deal with the devil. With, not the devil, but Minthara. We all know why he chose not Minthara. I was said her name moments ago and immediately it's gone from my mind. Mizora. We all know why he chose Mizora, let's be honest. Come on, gang. We know why Will chose Mizora. And not... Can't remember the... Raphael? That's another devil. Oh wait, no, he's a Cambion, isn't he? You only played 12 D&D games? That's okay. It's fun, isn't it? What do you think of D&D? Silent. Hey, JV! I'm lurk while finish some paperwork, but just wanted to pop in and say that current Ratchet panel is heckin' adorable. Thank you so much, Jamie. I really appreciate it. He is a sweet little bean. He's doing a little handstand. So I'm glad you like it. I love that Larian gives into the headcanons like Will secretly being in love with Mizora or Gale eating boots. Yeah, those are great. There's very good humor at Larian. It's fun, but the group is make or break for you. That's fair. It is, like, that is such a big part of what makes D&D either the best thing ever or a chore, is the people that you play it with. It's such a big part of it. Last 2 games you've tried, you handed DMing. Ooh, yeah. How has that been for you? Because I do know people who definitely prefer to DM over play, and sometimes that could be it. Yeah, bad group will tear your party apart. Yeah, exactly. It can also just be one player. So I once DM'd a game for a group of friends, and one of the people who was playing just kind of ruined it for everyone, which was really disappointing. And as the DM, it's really frustrating to have to step in and be like, hey, I need you to actually like either play properly or maybe think about not playing. Because this is supposed to be fun. It's such a unpleasant conversation that you have to have sometimes with people who just don't want to play as a team. It's so disappointing, you know? I hate the player that tries to be OP. Yeah, the metagamers, the main character players as well. Terrible. Just awful. The players who are like, oh, could I do this thing that isn't in the D&D handbook, but would be like super cool, but it essentially gives me just an extra attack in combat. And it's just like, well, that feels completely biased. So no. And they're like, ah, man, why you gotta spoil my fun? I'm like, no, you're being a jerk. I once had a player who used to, when we were like playing the game, if someone was asking me if they could do something, he used to tell them what roles they should do, like what they rolled for. And I was like, are you serious? That's one of my few jobs in this rinky-dink operation that we have going on here. I tell you what to roll, not one of the players. Also, it was wrong as well. Can't remember what it was, but I remember like them telling the player to roll for like this stat, and it was absolutely not for that. Like it was an insight or investigation kind of roll, and they told them to roll for something else, and I was just like, no. You gave Arendeth one item that is a bit iffy, but I made it into her backstory, and it's more of an RP iffy item. Yeah, if it's RP, then it's usually okay. One thing I used to do, well, actually with the campaign that had Ratchet in it, one of the things that Ratchet had, and you'll actually see aspects of it in the series, is that I'm currently circling it, but his cloak. His cloak is an OP item, and it was in the campaign. And I don't mind revealing it to you guys here, because we're chatting about it. But this was something I didn't actually bring up with my DM, but my DM said, hey, because you're joining later in the campaign, I thought you might benefit from... and also you're a rogue without magic. I thought you might benefit from having something really useful. So his cloak gave him plus 10 on rolls, on stealth rolls when the hood was up. Which, with him being a rogue, gave him a plus 20 to rolls when his hood was up. But if his hood was up, people wouldn't be able to see him, or would be less likely to see him, so he couldn't have his hood up while he was in conversation with people, because people would lose him. And that was like a hugely OP item, and it was at the DM's discretion, and that's the most important thing. You can get away with stuff, but it has to be at the DM's discretion. You have a masquerade tattoo that hides her undead or living nature. That's fine, yeah. That is definitely a roleplay thing, because in the D&D handbook, you really can't tell with the undead thing unless you're looking for it, and it almost is more of a faff to have characters or NPCs who are actively looking, unless it is plot convenient or important to the plot. So unless it is, then there's no point. And if it is, then they will just find a way to look beyond it, or beyond the tattoo. So it adds ingenuity to RP design. Your first D&D character, I gave him amnesia and told the DM, go ham with the backstory reveal. I love that. There's a player in one of the campaigns I'm playing in right now who has that, and it's fantastic. It's so fun. Because I could not for the life of you think of a backstory you liked. That's fair. Yeah, the biggest bonus it gives you in game is a free disguise per long rest. Yeah, and it's per long rest as well, so that's like not game breaking in any way, at least in my opinion. But I use it to disguise herself to locals and / party members. Yeah, that's fair. I think that should be like, surely that's fine, right? Did something similar to Arendeth. The DM has full control of a patron and reveals about him. Yeah, I love that stuff. It also feels, it's like a nice collaboration with your DM, because like you are in charge of your character's backstory to a large degree. But it's collaborative, and it's a really nice way to be collaborative in a D&D game, is to give your DM kind of full control. It also leaves surprises for you, which makes it more engrossing for your character and for yourself. Even if you've written stuff, you'll still have stuff to enjoy because your DM's plan stuff, and I'm sure they're very competent, so like competent for the story, so they'll wow you. And I like that. I like that a lot. I've given my DMs full discretion on certain things in character stories, and I really am glad that I do. It also gives surprises to your background. Exactly. Yeah. It's a nice thing. It's just a nice thing to do, because then you will feel excited for your own story unfolding. And stuff that is beyond your control, which is great for your character. There are actually things in this comic that were a part of Ratchet's character storyline that went beyond his character and wasn't stuff that I made. Or weren't things that I designed. Stuff that my DM Poops designed. Her name is not actually Poops, but I call her Poops. Because that's her nickname. But she designed a lot of stuff that ends up now being in this story, because we never got a conclusion to this story. So she actually gets a credit on this story as well, which is kind of fun. It's how she became a wine sommelier. That's cool, yeah, nice. Turns out I was the prince of a dragonborn nation in the future of another dimension. The grandfather of my character was actually the big bad. That's so cool. Yeah, I love that. And it also gives a really good reason as to why you would want your memories gone if you are a moral character who's just like, I don't want to remember this shit. Or I don't want to struggle with the moral stakes of having to kill my own grandfather to save the world. I can't reveal anything that's written by Poops yet, just because it'll have spoilers to the story, so I'm saving that, but there are things, and they're great. Because Poops is a very great writer, a really great D&D writer. Whereas I know screen and like story, or what's the word I'm looking for? Writing in quotation marks. So I've made it palatable for a comic, or made it read across a comic, whereas a good bit of it is written by a DM, which is cool. I forgot how I ended up in the past or in another dimension, but the reveal was cool. I bet, yeah. Having that all kind of revealed to you would be awesome. And it can be stuff that like you just don't expect. Like little things that have gravitas. I remember my character Leon, the Warlock patron, the Warlock Hexblade in D&D, was someone just referred to him as Silverblood because he's a half-elf. But it caught me completely by surprise because I was just like, Silverblood? That's a name with gravitas. Why do you just call me that? I'm just a stinky half-elf. Kind of accidentally even here. You know, I didn't choose to be here, so why am I all of a sudden important? Our DM had so much fun with Arendeth. She became an orphan, thrust at her father after her urges became too much for the elven community, as Damphirs still experience bloodlust. Daddy was a spawn, led to some interesting things. Yeah, I bet. But yeah, it's so much fun. So much fun to have a storyline that's just... It's got stuff that, like the real world, was out of your control. Which is so cool. Just checking things. Yep. Oh yeah, your first DM was a big believer in real world events and consequences. Yes. I think that's one of the most important things to me, is that the world has to have big events and consequences. And one thing that I love most of all is your world has to have big things that happened that had nothing to do with your characters. The world cannot be centered around you. Otherwise, the world doesn't feel lived in. It doesn't feel as immersive as it could be. And I think it is deeply important that big things had to have happened in the hundreds of thousands of millions of, however long years this world has existed. Just gonna have a quick drink, don't mind me, guys. Everybody should hydrate as well, just so you know. If you've been sitting here watching me, listening to me chat, have some water. The part of D&D you love the most is the lore? Because I'm a lore fiend. Yeah. Love to hear it. I kind of like that my first character got the ending she did. I was so miffed at the time. Yeah, that can happen. You get a ending that wasn't, to your plan. And you can kind of feel, cheated, or you feel let down, things like that. But then also, in hindsight, you might be like, honestly, that kind of fit. Or that felt more real. And that's okay. That's great. And even if it doesn't end necessarily, that is potential to do stuff yourself. This comic was born because this campaign didn't end. And I wanted to see closure for Ratchet, because I would never wanted to play him again. If you get where I'm coming from, is that I loved playing Ratchet, but I never wanted to play him again, because I was deeply afraid of losing him or losing who he was in that campaign. So instead, I turned it into a story where he could be written out and have closure in a way that felt more fitting. Or at least kind of flowed better with him and the world state that he existed in. Because I felt that if I'd moved him to just a different campaign, I feel like I could have lost that. Could have gotten a completely different Ratchet. And I really didn't want that. It was your best friend's ex who DM'd, so the campaign ended suddenly with your sorcerer pregnant from a vampire. Oh, right. Interesting. That is one way to leave it, yeah. That feels like a cliffhanger that you're just like, oh shit, where's this go? I think, yeah, if I remember correctly, the campaign with Ratchet in it ended with the party wandering into... I see that silent solidarity. We will draw a Torchic. I do know the Torchic, so I'm keen to draw that. But we'll just finish my story. It ended with the party wandering into the Feywild. And that was kind of left up to interpretation. So when I started Arendeth shortly before Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, oh hey, yeah. Yeah, nice. I'm not going to draw Torchic in blue, that doesn't make sense. Gonna make a note on the side. Torchic. I just wrote Torchic, which is the way Kiwis say Torchic. Oh god, Tauren's Gyarados. Oh yeah. This is great. That was a great Gyarados. What are you talking about? Yeah, so as you can see, I've also credited Tauren because this is Tauren's idea. She said it was totally okay for me to do it, but want to credit her all the same. Yeah, Torchic. Okay, before I start, I just want to check. Torchic is the first, the base version of this Pokemon. It's not the first or second evolution. Dollar store Gyarados. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I would pay that $1 for that Gyarados. Torchic is the little one. The chick. I mean, I assume so, because it's got chick in its name. But that's... Yes, Torchic is starting form of the Pokemon. That's the word I was looking for. Starting form. It's got like a Stewie Griffin head. Not a Stewie Griffin head, but a sort of dumpling-shaped head. I'm already not happy with that one. Hold on. Since they're a starter Pokemon. Yeah. I get what you mean. I want to just double check. I'm just double checking. It's definitely going to be bits that I need to fix up, but that's okay. I'm going to do my favorite bit. The weird headpiece. The comb, as it were. Again, drawing this from memory. But I do know Torchic slightly better than Mudkip. Slightly. Not immensely better, but definitely more slightly. There we go. That looks a bit weird. A bit weird. Very weird. Hold on. I'll keep it like that, actually. That doesn't look too bad. Alright. Thin out the head just a bit. Kind of looks like Chicken Little, but Torchic kind of does look like that, so that's fine. It's like a Chicken Little Torchic. And then Kermit the Frog little neck piece. It's Chicken Little. I love it. And I mean, I definitely can't promise that this will be as seamless as, I mean, the rest will be any more seamless. I've just drawn a chicken. I've just drawn a chicken. I love it. Not a fan of the eyes. The eyes are too big and not correct. Because really, like, so many Pokemon's eyes are just that. Like, these are Pokemon eyes. Without a doubt, these are just Pokemon eyes. Just two very long dots. Trying to dive back into my mind palace. When I was a kid playing Pokemon, what did Torchic look like? Torchic. Did you have a handgun? No, that was Digimon. What'd you have? What'd you have, Torchic? I also feel like this was more simplistic. It was like three spikes at most. Probably also had arms. They probably had like... I know eventually they got the boots with the fur. You know, they got those like Uggs. And started to look more humanoid, which was very unnerving. And less chicken-like. That's for dang sure. But that was also like a very common Pokemon thing after a certain generation, right? Was that Pokemon just started to evolve more humanoid. Until after a certain point, they just, like, they would just evolve into humans. Your first character's story ended in a kind of unsatisfactory way from a personal story perspective, since their grandfather died and the empire crumbled, still unsure of who even was now had the responsibility of rebuilding a nation thrown upon him. But it's also a good end. Yeah, that's a strong ending. It may have not felt completely satisfying for sure, but it at the very least it was a undeniable conclusion. I don't know how I feel about that shadow. It's a little bit too strong. Little too strong. Or at the very least, a little too high. Just a very low one instead. Yeah, there we go. I'm just adding just a little bit of detail to my Torchic. Yeah. A little bit of an undergroove, so it doesn't just look like it's a little dumpling blob. No, that's too high. Again. Just a nice low one. Gen 5 is when it started to feel like all Pokemon just evolved into humans. Yeah, which I felt was very weird. Even, like, my favorite Pokemon in X and Y, the Flabeb, the fairy type Pokemon, it was just like, after a certain point, evolve into woman with flower. It's like, what? This was a little flower Pokemon. Now it's just a woman that I keep in my pocket. That's weird. This is not what I expected of Pokemon. Little eyebrow. And then, alright. Torchic. Alright, let's grab a Torchic from the internet. What does Torchic look like? Not the evolution, just classic Torchic. Ah, okay. So I wasn't super far off. Pocket woman to solve all your legal dog fight problems. Yeah, exactly, which all of that feels dubious as fuck. That's a tiny... I mean, like, it's got more of a duck's bill, which is still cute. It's still cute as fuck. That one is definitely closer than the Mudkip, but yeah, that's not bad. I'm happy with that. Like, I'm happy with that. Mine's got, like, character, and I'm happy with that. I can play that off. Doesn't have hands. Oh, I drew this on the wrong layer. Can't even make a silly little joke. I did good, thank you. Thank you, Silent. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's pop it up into the warm-up page. Even though, oh well, actually, we'll finish this panel and then I will raid out. Because we're pretty close to the end and I don't want to start a new panel with like 18 minutes to go. You guys get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. I don't need to explain myself to you. You all understand. Time to save another 1,000. Yeah. Exactly. Don't know why I became a cowboy. What's next? Soft shadows. Soft shadows. Alright. And get rid of the details, get rid of the shadows, just flat color. Some of you may ask, why don't I do this before I do the shadows and the details? Simple answer to that is just because it affects the color profile of the image. And so if I were to do details or rendering on this panel itself, it would be very difficult to do just because it's the actual color is different from what I had painted in. Essentially, that's probably a very bad way of explaining it, but I'd be using different colors to fill in the space, and it'd be a more stark contrast, which would look quite weird. Tell you what I'm gonna do after I raid out is I'm gonna play some Baldur's Gate. Speak to my bully, Halson. Talk to my sweet bean. It's always really funny to find out what kind of character I'm gonna be down bad for in a game. Because I did not expect it to be Halson. Of course you will, and we support you. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate that. The support just encourages me to keep going, to keep doing it. Boom, nice soft shadow. Yay. And then I can put everything back in. What am I doing? Brain. What am I doing? Brain, do the work. Do the thinky think. Nay, I'm on holiday. Shit. It's okay. Figured it out. My brain's working again, sort of. Alright, but now since the light is coming from above Ratchet here, I need to aim the brush in that kind of direction. Downward. Sort of. Currently in the mountaintops in Baldur's Gate. Gonna go to the creche. Meet my side pieces people. And get this parasite out, maybe. If brain on holiday, know what that means. Time to think with the stomach. Time to think with the stomach. Me want cheese. Shit, it always says that. No, you're on a diet. Well, you're not on a diet, but you're trying to eat healthier. Cheese is not healthy. Cheese is good. I killed them all. Jesus! Oh, well, actually, no, that's fair enough. They're pretty mean. I'll find out what I'm gonna do to them. Probably today. I don't know. I try and solve things as peacefully as possible, but sometimes that's just not possible. It's just not doable. And if they're going to be mean to me, I'm going to be mean to them. Low-fat cheeses. I don't have any low-fat cheese in my house. I mean, that makes perfect sense, but I don't have any low-fat cheese in my house. Because I'm coming from this perspective that I was like, low-fat cheese would be low-fat, but I would just rather not eat cheese than have low-fat cheese. But maybe that's the wrong mentality. Yeah, who eats low-fat cheese? Yeah, exactly. Arendeth is a bit murdery for a druid. A little bit, from what you told me. Yeah, not completely unknown of a druid. Halson kills a lot of people, but it's definitely not the norm. Turn them all into sheep and yeet them into the river. Could do that. I'm saving the turning it into a sheep and then yeeting for that necromancer. Though I heard they actually patched out that fight, so you can't just turn them into a sheep and yeet them anymore. But she's all about balance. They deserve it. Yeah, controlling the population of humanoids. So we just got light now, and then we should be good to raid. Oh god, it's eating people off cliffs with roaring thunder arrows. So my jam. Yeah, it's fantastic. One thing that I watched someone do was they turned, that necromancer into a sheep with polymorph and then just pushed him off the cliff into the Shadowfell. And that used to just kill him instantly. But you also lost a ton of good stuff that he was carrying. So that's not ideal. But yeah, now it's patched, so he just flies. He just flies back up. Which is annoying, because it's like, well, now I feel like you're punishing me for thinking outside the box. But yeah, with that said and done, we are done on this panel. So, just zoom out quickly. Look at that, that's so cute. And one panel in one stream, that's good. That's a good amount. It's not taken 3 streams to do one panel, which is pretty good. And we had time to draw a Pokemon. So doing pretty good. Just gonna remove those and then export so that if anyone asks to see it, they can see it. He's adorable. Thank you. Ratchet is a sweet little bean. We love Ratchet very much. Sweetest little lad. This side of Regale, which is the name of the continent that we're on. The continent, oh not continent, the world that we're on. Continent is called Kaitiaki. But he's very sweet little bean. I've really enjoyed drawing the goblins that will form the Beanstalk Brigade. They've all got really nice, unique designs. And, Ratchet's no exception, of course, even though I designed him years ago when he was just a D&D character. So he has the most design time in him. The other characters are still all fantastic. And I'm really excited to show them. They will start appearing in the next chapter. So we got that to look forward to. Just having a quick drink. Definitely felt like I needed that. But we're good. Nice and good. Who is live tonight? Oh, not too many people. We got Shaggedy, we got Gaia, and we got Simon. Now I wonder, do we want to raid somebody new, or do we want to raid someone we know? Choices there. I leant forward in my seat, and there was just so much sweat in my back that I was like, well, I know what I'm doing. I'd love to play Baldur's Gate, but I'm going to have a shower first, and then I'll play some Baldur's Gate. Definitely way too sweaty to just sit in my sweat. I haven't raided to Simon for a while, so I feel like I'm going to lean towards that. Oh, sorry, just cracking my wrist right next to the mic. Sorry about that. Ugh. But anyway, let's start the raid. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to send love to Simon. He is the best. He's fantastic. I will be back live on Thursday with some more Subnautica. But until then, I will see you all later. Thank you all so much. And be sure to be the rainbow in somebody's day. Sorry, I'm currently just making sure Simon's still live. Make sure to be the rainbow in someone else's day. But until then, I will see you all later. Bye. Let's go.